in African tradition and in African culture, we used to have that phasing, actually, the phasing out strategy or kind of mode of shaping these children, whereby whenever any other adult could find a child in a mistake, he could quickly say, please, this is wrong and this is right. And it was usually accompanied by some caning and other sorts of the kind, which has gone on disappearing, basing on the number of things that we really appreciate that have come. Because currently you won't do that. In fact, the child will stand and challenge you. Who are you to punish me? Or who are you to tell me to do this? Because remember, maybe this parent has told already the child, please don't accept any directives from any other person apart from me. But of course, basing on reality, this has also been brought in by a number of other things that we agree. One will come as if he's a parent and ends up taking this child into a wrong direction. Yeah, so to me, I think I want to focus so much on what the mother, on what the father must do to make sure that this child is greatly nurtured into what we want. So I have almost categorized that we have a number of parents, but specifically we look at the specific and these significant responsibilities of the true biological parents to these children.
Wow. Well, I thank you for that. It gives us a direction. Like you said, when you compare with the ancient and African traditional culture, the child belonged to the community.
Oh yeah.
And the community used to be responsible to an extent. Like you say, the neighbor would cane a child after finding it, which you can't do now, because even the parents don't even cane.
Yeah,
so
sure.
it's good that we've given this discussion a direction and kind of scope that we shall use. And so in respect to mother and father, what are the core roles that they must play in order to shape and help give direction to the career path of children?
Oh yeah, yes, Moses. You see, I'm lucky. I want to believe that you are a parent.
Yes. And
so is me. And I believe we have a number of parents out there who are watching this program tonight on Besan TV.
Yes.
I want us to look at how we have always done it. Maybe at some point in time, we shall need to touch into it and see what haven't we done right and what can we really do right. So basically, when I look at a parent, I want us to start this knowing that the children we handle, these children we call children. In fact, I wouldn't wish to keep on, because if someone if someone has had me address these children, I always avoid calling them children as such.
Okay.
I see them as ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, many would wish to call them ladies and gentlemen in making, but I see them as ladies and gentlemen. And in fact, if you went into psychology, you would understand that these are independent individuals. Yeah, these are independent individuals, and therefore the way they see things is far different from the way we see things. The way they reason and do their things is slightly different from the way we do our things. And very many times as parents, we want these children to do either what we do or what we feel or even what we believe in. So that one has always caused that kind of conflict of reality. That the children think they are right. And of course, as a parent, you also see the right direction. So to me, I see that these children need parental assistance. They actually need parental guidance. But this parental guidance must be based on reality. So if, for example, I want my child to become a doctor in the future, I want my child to become an engineer in the future, I should remember then that given that these so-called children are independent individuals, they must be having another interest, perhaps in either the same profession that we prefer they should join, or differently from the concept that we have as parents. So to me, as a parent, and of course as a person who has done parenting for some good time, I believe that parents, we must consider the way we package the information we want these children to take. And indeed, very many times, and indeed this is based on reality, this is based on empirical evidence, that when the families which have decided to let children do what they must do, they have also at some point gone wrong. So at the end of it all, you will realize that however much they are independent individuals whose interests could be slightly different from our interests, then their interests must be facilitated by the parents. So I'm now driving to the point of facilitation. The parents standing in as instructors, the parents standing in as facilitators, because you want to irrigate a certain dream, you want to irrigate a certain interest, and beyond that, you are working around the attitude. Yes? Yeah, because children, you may not need to ask how do these children understand that they have to become lawyers, they have to become engineers, they have to become mention different number of professions, because the children we used to have back then in the days, they are not the same children we're having, where they are still named as children, but the interpretation of things, the way they analyze things, let's generally talk about the levels of exposure. To what extent have they interpreted the universe? I mean, to what extent have they understood what is around them? So to me, I think one of the key roles of the parents is to understand that they are facilitating the interests of these independent individuals. Very, very important for us to understand that we are facilitating different individuals. And if at all you push them harder, well, you will push them harder towards your direction, your own direction, because that's what you want, and they must obey. They are children, you are the parent, they must obey. But remember that the longer and the further you push this child, of course, the harder they become in terms of, we call that one resistance. They develop a certain immunity. And this immune system that will be developed by these children will definitely demand for other consequences. I mean, for other outcomes of that. Then number two, I want us to look at the things that we do as parents, especially when these children are watching. This should be posed back to maybe the dear parent who is watching me tonight. What are those activities that you do in the presence of your children? Then,
okay. Let me first maybe intervene there, and as you pose the question, what are some of those things that you do in front of the children? And you've also brought in a parent as a facilitator to facilitate children's interest. We will first break, and then when we come back, we'll continue to look at the role of a parent in shaping their children's career. For now, let's have a very short break.
Bethany TV for health. Showing on Bethany TV, growing and multiplying.
Father, we thank you that as we've joined our faith on this earth, whatever
touching those close and beyond, the word of God ministered, lives changed.
Our God made a way for the children of Israel, and they made it to the promised land.
The day of salvation, and today is a day of freedom for you. In Jesus' name, if you believe it, say amen.
We celebrate the resurrection because Jesus is alive.
It's a brand new day. Here we go.
miss the Watoto Sunday service every Sunday, 10 to 11:30 a.m. live on Bethany TV for health. Introducing Medical Minds with Dr. Andabati.
And these tubes can be so delicate that sometimes they get damaged. Some people have gotten the damage because they have undergone some operations. So damage to the tube system is one of the big problems we also do see.
The groundbreaking show that takes you behind the scenes of the medical minds.
You will explore cutting-edge treatment and technologies revolutionizing reproduction health.
Now, in retrograde ejaculation, we get damage to the junctional valves, which I could say.
Learn about the science behind fertility, contraception, and emotional journeys that several women trek.
Every Sunday, 8 p.m. live on Bethany TV. Are you looking for a platform to advertise your business and boost your sales? Bethany TV got you covered. Take advantage of our introductory rates and maximize your leverage for brand awareness, advertising, product launching, live coverages, activations, and so much more. For booking and more information, contact our sales team on 0785 576 269. Bethany TV for health. Bethany TV for health.
Definitely, I believe a parent is at the center of a child's career path. And I hope you believe so. We were discussing the role of parents, and I'm with Edwin. We'll be back from that short break as we continue to understand, discuss, and exchange ideas, looking at the role of parents in growing or shaping their children's career path. And before the break, as we entered into the break, Edwin had posed a question. We can start from that question, Edwin, that we are posing to us and all our viewers out there.
Yes, Moses, like I posed the question, you see, we want these children to become some people, but then we actually frame ourselves in that very angle, but in a very negative way. In fact, that is why I posed that question. You know, we have different ways of motivating children, and in fact, other people to becoming better people and maybe the people they want to be. But then, what is your levels of impact towards that? Because human beings, we are actually unique in nature, that in many times want to copy, in many times want to imitate, in many times want to do it the way some other people have done it. So in this case, if you truly want your child to become a lawyer, you are a lawyer at home. But very many times, these little ones get issues solved. They see you sorting issues in a manner that is not legitimate. Do you pick the point? That how do you do what you think is inspiring these people to be? Okay? So when we look at the levels of extrinsic motivation, now when you look at intrinsic, this person is already interested in becoming what they must be. But then you as a parent, who is a facilitator, who is an instructor, you have the opportunity at hand to deliberately move these people towards their dream. And then you can only do that if whatever you're doing in their presence is the right thing, especially the right thing that they also know that this is the true and real reality. So to me, I think whether we love it or not, parents, we are still key elements in shaping and nurturing these children to be what they must be. Then the other point maybe that I see in Moses is about to, career training. Yes.
So far we've looked at 3.
Yes.
This is the third one.
Yeah, this is the third one. I looked at the facilitation.
As a facilitator.
As a facilitator.
Yes.
Then we are looking at motivation. Motivate your children to be the people you want them to be. So that by the time they make their right decisions, the decisions are based on motivation. You see, Moses, some of us who support soccer, who support football, you must be having that, inner reason that made you support Manchester United like me. You have that reason that made you support Arsenal. You have, you love this leader because of a particular reason. And therefore, these children, as they grow to make their proper and clear decisions, especially towards certain professions, they must have gotten that gist of it all. Like, they are fully convinced that I'm in for this, and this makes me accomplish if I go in for it. So the motivation comes in that level. Like, you have to be very smart in the way you are directing this child towards that particular future career. Then the other third area that I want us to touch into is the concept of freedom. In fact, the freedom, I want to emphasize this. Many times, parents want to divert and convince children to take up different directions because perhaps of the pitfalls they have encountered during their time. You find someone telling a child, you know what, go and try, it's okay, but I know mathematics has issues. You want this person to become an accountant. But the words you are also using are quite really demoralizing. That is one. Then number two, you find that you are also not giving them an opportunity. You're actually doing more of telling them how this is not possible. You get a point? You are more of, why don't you, because for you in your mind, you have it that my firstborn must be a lawyer, my secondborn must be a doctor, and maybe my thirdborn must be this other profession. And maybe you have other external factors, because when he becomes this, we have a relative who will connect him, and so on and so forth. All these factors are always there, within parents. Then at the end of it all, a child who finds and discovers his potentiality in football is not given an opportunity to discover their skills.
Before I feel you had mentioned something, and I feel you've kind of now brought in something different.
Yes.
And I wanted we first kind of talk about it. You talked of past experience and the parents kind of, because of what they've gone through. You gave an example of mathematics, and they really know maybe they struggled with mathematics. That could be one example, but there could be other experiences that they have gone through and they have seen, and according to them, they have tested, and they know maybe this experience might have this negative impact, and would want to advise children honestly and genuinely, kind of basing on those experiences and giving them direction. Now, like you brought it, okay, mathematics, because he failed or she used failed mathematics, might say mathematics is bad, but that's one other example. But there can be other examples in life that the parents have gone through and would want to share that experience and guide their children. But this is my question in that relation before we go to what you had brought in. How should parents use their past experience to guide children not to maybe step in such areas?
Yeah, thank you, Moses. You see, on guiding children, I want parents to appreciate the pitfalls they have encountered in life. It's okay. We have no one who has gone through a very straight life in life. A straight journey in life. You realize that very many people you see successful, very many people you see still struggling, they have gone through a lot. And what they have gone through does not really describe who they are. And that is why I would actually base to say that parents should give that freedom, especially the freedom towards decision making. But then where do we come in? Because like you have posed it, if they have encountered a number of challenges, how do they really use that to shape or focus these children? I want parents to be very clear that this made me fail to reach this. But like I started, you are handling a very independent individual whose opportunities actually are far different from yours, whose blessings are far different from yours. So the concept should be, we cannot sit and look on as they grow minus telling them what we experienced. Maybe that could be a stepping stone to let them cross the river. But then let them, first of all, listen to them. What could be their interest? What is their dream career? Then upon understanding that, go on to letting them understand that maybe as you are thinking of becoming a doctor, for example, this is how they conduct themselves. And to me, I wouldn't wish to really build so much on the negativities, on the bottlenecks that we experienced during our time. But then, as you are guiding them, just remain a neutral person. Yes, you are going in for this, but then a doctor behaves like this. A doctor conducts himself like this. A doctor does not rush because you are going to deal with life. A doctor does not, do these things because these are completely contrary to the profession. You get a point? And at the end of it all, maybe you are telling them a doctor does not, you are not limiting them. That is where my concept is. You are not limiting them whatsoever. They have space to choose, yes, I should go for this, having had this kind of interaction with my father, with my mother.
Okay.
Then the other area, Moses, that I wanted us to check into is the mature parent-child relationship. If I ask these parents, I don't know how many parents spare time to discuss with their children, especially in line with the future career. Now, if you still think that you are having, for example, your student is in maybe senior 1, senior 2, senior or whatever there, and you still can't find time to discuss with them, listen to them, ask them some questions, and then find out what exactly do they want to be, then I think that's where we go wrong. Because these children at this particular moment, they need us. In fact, before they listen to another person, before they listen to another person focusing them to do this and that, sit them down. Please look, what do you think you want to be? When you get back home, discuss with these children. And especially me, I just subscribe so much to positive elements. Discuss with them. You are back, it's a Sunday, you are working from home, you're on your laptop. Please let them understand, what are you doing? How do you do it? And then when you do this, what do you get? If possible, go on to explain to them. You see, this is how I make money. I make money out of sales. How do we make sales? We do this, I send this, we need human resource. You bring down the entire framework of what you do, and then you help these children to understand what they do. Then in that mature parental, of course, parent-child relationship, you will get an opportunity to listen to their dreams, interests, and perhaps the areas of hope. Where do they want to fall? If this child, recently I gave a national concept, it came into a package, requesting these children, the students, to go out there. They spot out one profession they want to become, which inspires them. Then they meet these professionals, they sit them down, they tour the areas, their area of work. Then they go on to interviewing them on how far they have found their places of work. So when children came back with their reports, it was quite amazing. In fact, I told them to get clips. We had clips of these experiences. And you could see a child saying, I thought this was the best for me.
But it's not.
But it's not. I'm therefore choosing a different one. It's because they were given an opportunity to experience exactly what these people are experiencing. So to me, if a parent can grant this opportunity to their children, to explain to them, to talk to them, and in fact not the other ordinary rude way, be free and flexible, allow these children to speak, you also listen. Let them, listen as you are also speaking. Let them share their mind freely. Like let them find peace in sharing with you, so that at the end of it all, this child can say, oh, you see, when you are discussing with someone and you see this person saying, oh, you realize that you have touched the right path. You realize that you have caused a U-turn in their mindset. You realize that you have actually impacted their lives. Because this person has, so which means that when I become a lawyer, I will not be able to treat patients. Okay? You see, so which means that when I become a lawyer, you mean lawyers get bribes from these people? Oh, then that's bad. I don't want to be that. You will see children. In fact, if you start this one at another stage, you will see them share with you freely. They are telling you openly, I can't go in for this because this does this and I don't believe in that. Then the other area that I would wish us to also understand is that we need to, of course, we shall not quickly discourage, but we need to let these children understand, if at all, there are those immediate consequences of some areas. Because, there are now very many skills that children want to develop. Children want to become footballers, and of course, professional footballers are doing well. They want to become artists, and of course, outside there, they are doing amazingly well. They want to become a number of celebrities and other professionals. But then, to me, I think it is okay for you to limit. For example, they want to become an artist. But then the artist they want to become, they feel like they should now start going in at another stage. They should start going in at an age to have long nights. Because psychologically, that one will definitely affect their mind. They still have another future academic life to pursue. So that is where where you come in still. You say, you know what? Who is your artist? My artist is Cindy. Okay? So you feel like you should be like her? Then it is okay. Let her understand that to become like Cindy, you must have done A, B, C, D. To start going out to perform and maybe to watch them, you must have been able to achieve A, B, C, D. In fact, you can use what Cindy does. Cindy speaks English. She's perhaps of a different profession, so that she can now understand that if I must be that artist I admire, I must as well have acquired this. You are definitely doing a very fundamental parenting, responsibility in your home. Then the other area where I think parents should put in their effort is understanding that the basics must be understood from the parents themselves. There is a way how, Moses, when you go home and speak to your children, there is a way your children perceive the information you give them, and indeed there is another different way they will perceive the information given to them by the aunties they respect so much. The house help.
Yes.
So the house help, they have actually become the mothers. They have, to some extent, become the fathers. Whereby the father will come very late, the mother will come very late, and it is entirely the responsibility of the house help to guide these children, do homework, to guide these children, be this and that. And at the end of it all, these children get used to these people, and then there is what they take serious, there is what they don't take serious. And to another funny extent, when the parents come and they get an opportunity to share with them, they just simply report, she told us to do this and that. And she told us not to do this. So they are instead reporting the negativity than sharing the ideas which were perhaps of great substance to your parents, so that you can filter and give. So the point in this is that sparing that precious time. Parenting is a continuous process. Even at this stage, some of us, we can be parented. I believe so. That your parent can say, no, you know what? Edwin, you want to become an MP for Ishaka Municipality, yes, but then this speed is too much. Please, You are being guided by your parent. You know what? You want to do this and that, but please, this one, no. Either reduce speed or increase speed in this area. So to me, I think that time, in fact, parents should call it that time. The precious time that you must spare to speak to your child, and which must be actually continuous. Very many parents, make mistakes. They say, no, may I speak to my children? How often? At least Easter, I do. We sit, we have a family gathering. Christmas, I do. We have a family gathering. My friends, and especially the parents who are watching us tonight, I feel like that is not enough. Parenting is a gradual process, and it is continuous until we die. Therefore, what about these young innocent ones who are still looking at a future, and their future is so precious? They must be helped to grow into what they want to be. And how will that one come to happen? It is only when these parents have given them, in fact, tonight's key element in my package, it would be having that key time, the precious time, when you will be able to say, this no, this yes. Children are like, you see, people who drive cars. Many times you will see a serious son, senior driver. After taking long without driving, you will see him, staggering on the road. You will see him make some, blind mistakes. You will see him do things that you wouldn't believe he would be doing. It is simply because the practice has not been consistent. The practice has not been continuous. So in this case, as we nurture these children, if you cannot make it daily, at least weekly, talk to this child. I have seen schools, and I have been in schools where you go and they introduce the character and integrity program. And before you know, they tell you, yeah, we did this very well this time, but this time we cannot really, we are backsliding. Simply because you have not been consistent. Therefore, as a parent, as you are parenting and packaging information to your child, especially towards their green career, towards their future hope, towards the future that they want to be, you should be able to really package this information that keeps on coming then and the other time.
So you're speaking about consistency.
Consistency.
Yeah, and I think that's true. I just wanted to, looking at all these roles that you have brought in and trying to look at what's happening in our society, what's going wrong with parenting? If you can summarize, I see we have about less than 10 minutes.
Oh, yes.
But where are the gaps? What do we see are the gaps, especially in parenting?
Yeah, thank you very much. Of course, the very last point I ended with, it also becomes a gap in this. Because if you are not consistent, you are not regularly talking to these children, to these young ones, then definitely you are losing out. Then the other area, Bwana Moses, is the concept of high expectations. Parents have, become demanding engines. You see, if you fail to understand that children are independent individuals, whatever you will do, you will definitely mess up. You will have to do, mistakes in the lives, in the nurturing of these children. So we have the area of high expectations and the demands. You find that the parent is saying, you know what? I want you to work for Bodo, King's College Bodo. When you go there, I want you to get me these points. When you get these points, I want you to join Makerere University. And at Makerere University, you must do this profession. You get a point?
Yes.
So you find that you are setting the targets basing on your interests. You are in fact stretching these children beyond their management. So at the end of it, if
either beyond or outside their areas of interest and capabilities, which is very wrong. Yes.
So before you know, the gap comes in. There is that reality, that fight within the child. The child feels like it wouldn't be me doing this. Let's say A level, you are doing PCB, you are doing this PM, and the child is like, no, it wouldn't be this. It wouldn't be me doing this, but I'm doing this one for my father. In fact, this is not my course. this is my father's course. Such kind of interaction. The child's mind is interacting in the manner that is forced to do what is not meant to do.
What is not meant
which
to
causes the gap. Then the other area, I think...
actually, just to add, it can cause the gap. I also think for a child now who will force him or herself to do it, definitely you're setting him up for failure.
Definitely.
Because he's not able to...
Yes.
If I force PCB on you,
yes,
and you obey because you're my father, but I can't solve any...
absolutely.
any mathematical problem.
Exactly.
Then, yes.
And I think that's why we are having gaps in professions in the country currently. You hear about corruption and whatnot. People are doing what they did not want to become.
It's not their passion.
Yeah, it's not their passion. If someone is not passionate about what they are doing, definitely they will never produce. Results will never be smart. So at the end of it all...
I think that's a very, very big point. And in our society, honestly, if you to look at the parents, like the parents, we always have those desires of really, we want to see our children be this.
Yes.
And it's something that might be natural.
Yes.
And you even find now our fathers, they are like, oh, I thought my son would be this one. So it's something that is within us.
Absolutely.
And we must fight to
we must fight
it. It's not easy, Edwin, because we have those desires and you really wish, even you see a role model, you're like, my child should be like that. And it is sensible. It's something that is really happening, and we are trying to fight it.
In fact, that's what it's another disease that we are suffering. People we are fighting COVID, but that is our greatest COVID.
That is it, yes.
And in any case, honestly, when you sit down and look at the whole thing, you really want to understand the parent as well. You see, we are in another dangerous, generation, where parents have seen the children of their friends, the children of their neighbors excel in life because they have taken certain paths. And then they also want to see that success come through. They want to see this happen.
It's a desire of a
parent. Yes.
And that's why I'm saying it's a dilemma.
Yeah. But at the end of it all, we need to appreciate that time has really changed.
Okay.
Time has really changed. And all we can do is to sit back and we repackage. We believe that these children can do better if they are given an opportunity to also choose what they want to be. Because we have seen other children who have followed the trend of their skills and talents, and they are equally doing well. They have supported their families back. So it's just a matter of a mindset change. In fact, the mindset change must start with us parents. That let's look. However much we want these children to be successful through this direction, but they can as well do better if they are guided to follow their dreams, to follow their interests, and they also get there.
Yes.
Then the other contradiction,
as we conclude?
Yes. The other contradiction, Moses, it comes within us parents still. In fact, that is still in your question. It comes within us that the mother, this is also quite exciting. The mother wants the child to be this, but then the father also wants the child to be this.
Yes.
So at the end of it all, there happens a certain confusion caused by the parents ourselves. That the child is like, should I go with daddy's guidance?
Actually, even before the courses, it normally starts with the schools.
Definitely.
The mother wants the child in this school. I think that's the commonest.
Definitely.
That's the commonest.
Definitely. And remember
the father wants the child in that school. And even worse still, you would find the reasons they are attaching. Probably the father is calculating the fees.
Definitely.
In different schools. Not even like these schools, they do this, they support, there's exposure in different, no. But the father is maybe calculating now the fees, visiting day, it's nearer, something like that. And the mother has, so those differences, they really exist, like you bring
They definitely do exist. And before you know, they greatly affect these young ones whose dreams are completely different from the direction of their parents.
Surely.
So by and large, I think as parents, really we need to sit back and we accept that we are handling individuals whose interests are different from our interests. And then, because we want to nurture them, because if they are not guided right, they will definitely take a different direction, which may spoil their future. So it is to our obligation to make sure that these children are guided right. But after we have given them a chance to speak, to talk to us, to share with us about their dreams, their interests, and then as the facilitators, the chief facilitators in this, the chief instructors in this, we spare time to make sure that we fast, and in fact it is also okay to facilitate them towards their way, and if they experience some bottlenecks, they definitely get back. It's what I mentioned earlier on. They would definitely say, no, Daddy, I had earlier on told you that I want to become this, but because of this and this, I thank you have supported me, I have moved up to this far, but no, not this. They would definitely come back.
And the parents' role is to continue supporting.
Continue supporting, because you are not going to stop today, for as long as you believe that they are different, and indeed they can still achieve, even when they have not taken the line of your interest.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Our time is well spent, Edwin. I just want to give you less than a minute to say bye to our viewers and listeners as we conclude our session.
Thank you very much, Moses, and of course to you, all our viewers. It has been a very great moment with you, Edwin Tuinumujisha, and of course sharing these fundamental areas, looking at how best we can nurture these young ones holistically, because they carry the future that we cannot see with our eyes. The people of Ishaka Municipality, I greet you, and of course I wish you best good night, and of course as we eye 2026 come, and then we see what Edwin can do for the good people of Ishaka Municipality. I wish you good luck.
Exciting. Thank you very much, Edwin. I just want to end with words of Reverend Dr. Grace Lovale. He's the person I hosted here, the curator in the Resurrection Church of Golobi, about parenting. He made a statement that I always quote, that parenting is a permanent and pensionable job. And he actually talked about it's a continuous process. So let us drop these expectations and be chief facilitators in our children's lives, so we can help them follow their dreams, follow their passion, definitely under our guidance. Has been Moses on Back to Basics, and see you tomorrow 10 to 11. In case you've missed this program, just know that you can again get it on X, Bethan TV _UG, or YouTube on Bethan TV UG. You can definitely enjoy and learn from these programs. Thank you very much. Have a very, very great night.